If you go online, you can find a ton of videos saying how Kaiju No. 8 is the next Attack on Titan. Unfortunately, it only looks that way. The reality is that Kaiju No. 8 has been on a decline for a while now. Kaiju No. 8 might be worse than we think. Couple that with the fact that nobody really talks about the manga like they used to, and this anime might be dead before it even hits the ground. And Kafka doesn't really change as a character. There's less focus on him and his development as we focus on these newer characters, and there's really nothing ever referenced about his wanting to be a new person like before. It feels like all of his dialogue can pretty much be reduced to "I'm gonna beat the kaiju" or "I'm gonna get stronger." Presents the series' main character as a shell of his former self, and seemingly kills any of his potential character growth. Granted, the fights always look good and they're fun enough to read, but after a while it just feels like a broken record. So you take the main character, who seemingly has no more character arcs, and you take the plot, which just keeps recycling the same basic story beats, and eventually you start to wonder, why bother? People were addicted to Attack on Titan because Eren changed as a character over time, whereas Kafka just always stays the same. AOT had all of these mysteries and there were all kinds of crazy plot twists and deaths. Kaiju No. 8 only has like a few plot twists to make up for the redundant story that just does the same thing over and over again. Go ahead on Twitter or YouTube. Besides basic chapter reviews, see how many people are reacting to new chapters on social media. See how many people are still saying Kaiju No. 8 is the next Attack on Titan on YouTube. You're going to find that it's also a fraction of what it used to be. Once it hits that later story, I see people losing interest in the fights and not wanting to invest in these boring characters. And make sure to check out my video on Kagurabachi. In that video, I explain why Kagurabachi will be the next Demon Slayer.
Here's another example of how real fans of a show sound like. In this specific case, it's about Kaiju No. 8. A by the numbers shonen made by ticking boxes on a checklist instead of trying to make something good. So he starts by saying it's better than any other show, including Chainsaw Man. Is it in terms of writing or plot? No, in terms of streaming services. You're supposed to believe he's a real fan and not a paid Netflix reviewer who has to keep repeating this is an overperforming product of Netflix. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid and I was spending a lot of hours watching cartoons on television, I was never saying, I am watching this product because it's overperforming on that channel. I was watching cartoons because I liked watching cartoons.
Just consume product.
Once he's done shilling the product he's paid to promote on Netflix, he proceeds to calling anyone who criticizes the product not being a fan of it. Because fans never criticize a product, they mindlessly consume it and shut up regardless of how bad it is. Defend brand. The rest are grifters who make predatory analysis videos for clicks. And they turn to hate because it generates clicks, while saying good things about the product doesn't generate clicks. Is it because there is not much good in it? No, it's because real fans never overhype the products they like.
Just consume product.
Then he goes on a tangent about people who make analysis videos having lost their power completely, and that is a good thing, since all we know now is people acting like monkeys for 20 seconds on TikTok. There is no need to explain why a product is good. If you are a fan, you will only consume it. Defend brand. These haters, on the other hand, have no media literacy and just complain about it all the time, which is totally not the same thing this paid shill is doing right now, complaining about the non-fans who dare to criticize the product.
Just consume product.
So, does he recommend this product? I have no idea. He's too busy hating those who have critical thinking and calling them enemies of these products. Defend brand. He also thinks there is no objectivity anymore, since everyone only cares for clicks and you only get clicks by being negative. Absolutely nobody gets a lot of clicks by overhyping trash. And this is why this review about Kaiju number 8 is very helpful in telling you why it's such a good product worth consuming, because it's overperforming on Netflix.
Just consume product.
One of the most common traits of a successful series is a relatable protagonist. Naruto was relatable for many because he wanted to stand out in the crowd like many young people do. Chainsaw Man was relatable because he wanted to be a simp and act like a dog like many worthless losers do. Kaiju number 8 is not an exception, since it too has a protagonist who is relatable. How, you may ask? Why, by being in his 30s, and that's all there is to it. Everyone calls him old, but he still wants to be a monster slayer regardless of that. And that is relatable for the older anime fans who are still chasing their childhood dreams. That sounds okay, doesn't it? Well, not really, since if you check the reviews on Mal, the most common problem everyone has with him is that he's very mature. He has arrested development and hasn't changed one bit since his teenage years, which is a common issue with a lot of people today. They are manlet, so as long as they get manlet protagonists, they are pleased. Also, it's not a positive trait to still be chasing childhood dreams at this age. Not because they are not trying, but because they didn't do anything to chase their dreams. Just like Deku in My Hero Academia didn't do anything to be a hero until a plot device gave him powers, the protagonist in Kaiju number 8 wasn't doing anything to be a monster slayer until a plot device gave him powers. The only difference is, it didn't happen at the age of 15, it happened in his 30s. And that is the only thing that makes this protagonist relatable. The plot device that gave him broken superpowers didn't happen in his teens, it happened in his 30s. He's otherwise an immature idiot like any other shonen protagonist. And the comedy that comes from that made a lot of people to drop the show, since they expected more maturity out of a 30-year-old man. Therefore, we reached the conclusion that anyone who likes the protagonist is a manlet. The show is otherwise nothing special.
This dude barely develops as a character. He's supposed to be a 32-year-old, a grown man with life experience and trauma. He's subverted the usual shonen mold and the tropes. But by the end, throughout the manga, he's acting like your generic 17-year-old shonen protagonist, yelling about the power of friendship without offering any deeper challenge to the enemy's beliefs. The Miraiki monster, it was completely mid in all aspects. It literally says nothing and has no character development. That's why it feels like a last-minute undercooked review. It was foreshadowed even more times that these two are actually in love with each other. The final chapter is going to show them dating or confess their feelings, or even better, they're married, right, ABD? This is the only interaction these two have after 4 months, and she says the car is waiting? That's it? Wait, didn't Kafka die? The arse pulls don't end. Number 8 is not dead after all.
What the fuck is going on here?
The general must have stopped the souls from leaving to heaven to finally receive the peace they wanted. I'm just saying, if it was me, I'm telling you to fuck right off. I'm going to heaven, bro. Why would I want to stay within a vessel of a man on earth? It's basically a bloody prison. It makes no sense. I didn't even know there was any world building in this manga. I thought it was only Japan, but now we know the whole bloody world has kaiju. We get almost no stakes for any character, underdeveloped, undercooked, and several plot points are left unresolved. The whole thing about never being human again, it was a waste of time. Kaiju still exists in the world, and the whole thing about finding out their origin, it goes nowhere.